It was supposed to be his moment of vindication, the day Prince Harry finally stood tall against the British tabloids and exposed their secrets to the world. He walked into the High Court in London expecting to be the hero of his own story, armed with righteous anger and convinced the world was on his side. But within hours, that narrative didn't just crack, it shattered. Instead of a triumphant takedown of the press, the world witnessed a royal unraveling in real time. Prince Harry didn't just lose his composure, he lost control of the room, nearly breaking down in tears. The judge, the one man he needed to impress publicly, scolded him not once, but 3 separate times. What happened inside those walls wasn't just a bad day in court. It was a systematic dismantling of a prince's credibility. While Prince Harry spoke emotionally about the misery of his life, his wife, Meghan Markle, was 5,000 miles away, seemingly unbothered, posting lifestyle updates that painted a very different picture. From the humiliation of being told to stop arguing with the judge to the shocking revelations about his legal team backing away, this is the true story of how a multi-million-dollar lawsuit turned into a public relations nightmare. And the details that emerged under oath reveal that this situation goes far deeper and far darker than anyone realized. The atmosphere in the courtroom shifted the moment Prince Harry took the stand, and it wasn't in his favor. This wasn't a television interview with a friendly host nodding along to his grievances. This was a cross-examination conducted by some of the sharpest legal minds in the UK, presided over by Justice Matthew Nichollen, a man who deals in facts, not feelings. Almost immediately, Prince Harry tried to play by his own rules. Instead of answering the questions put to him by the defense lawyer, Anthony White, Prince Harry began to debate. He pushed back, deflected, and attempted to argue the law with the lawyers themselves. It was a strategy that might work in a PR statement, but in a court of law, it is a disaster. The tension reached a breaking point quickly. The judge, initially attempting to be patient, was forced to intervene. He told Prince Harry clearly that he was there to answer questions, not to argue the case. That was his lawyer's job. But Prince Harry didn't stop. It happened a second time, with the judge's tone growing sharper and the frustration in the room becoming palpable. By the third instance, Prince Harry attempted to argue over what qualifies as a legitimate journalistic source. Justice Matthew Nichollen shut it down completely. It was a humiliating spectacle, a member of the royal family being treated like an unruly schoolboy because he refused to accept the authority of the court. But that wasn't the whole story. The reason for Prince Harry's combative behavior wasn't just arrogance, it was panic. The defense had executed a strategic masterstroke the day before, cutting their opening arguments short and forcing Prince Harry onto the stand a full day earlier than he had prepared for. He looked rattled, uneasy, and completely out of his depth. He wasn't settled, and the defense team knew it. They capitalized on his emotional state, and Prince Harry walked straight into the trap, debating the judge instead of delivering evidence. And as bad as that appeared, what he actually said under oath was about to make things much worse. As the questioning continued, Prince Harry's testimony took a bizarre and confusing turn that left legal analysts baffled. He became emotional, his voice cracking as he told the court that the tabloids had made his wife's life an absolute misery. He spoke about the pain, intrusion, and suffering Meghan Markle had endured. On the surface, it sounded like a protective husband defending his spouse. But there was one massive, glaring problem with this emotional display. Meghan Markle has absolutely nothing to do with this lawsuit. The case Prince Harry is fighting centers on alleged phone hacking and illegal information gathering that took place between 2001 and 2013. That is the fixed timeline. Prince Harry didn't even meet Meghan Markle until the summer of 2016. She wasn't there for the alleged crimes. She wasn't in his life. She wasn't in his phone. And she wasn't the subject of the articles in question. Yet Prince Harry attempted to make her the centerpiece of his testimony. That raised a massive red flag about his motivations. Why bring her into a case that predates her presence in his life by years? Critics and legal experts began speculating immediately. Was this a calculated attempt to use Meghan Markle as an emotional shield, especially since the actual evidence tied to the 2001 to 2013 period appeared weak? By dragging her name into a trial focused on his past, Prince Harry wasn't strengthening his legal argument. He was exposing the possibility that he was fighting a proxy war for present-day grievances rather than past injustices. The lawsuit began to look less like a pursuit of truth and more like a venting session for current frustrations. And while Prince Harry spoke emotionally in London about his wife's misery, the reality of what Meghan Markle was doing at that exact moment told a very different story. As Prince Harry stood alone in the witness box, isolated and facing aggressive questioning, the misery he described seemed absent from one key location, Montecito, California. Reports surfaced that while her husband was enduring what was arguably the most stressful week of his life, Meghan Markle was active on Instagram, showcasing a life of luxury, calm, and commercial success. She posted images of their sprawling mansion, the pool, and the sunny California lifestyle, a stark and jarring contrast to the gray, tense atmosphere of the London High Court. The optics were disastrous. This is a couple that built their entire post-royal brand on the idea of a united front, salt and pepper, always moving together. Yet when the pressure reached its highest point, Prince Harry was alone. There was no support in the gallery, no hand to hold during breaks, just Prince Harry struggling against a legal system he appeared not to fully understand, while his wife was nearly 5,000 miles away managing her social media engagement. The comment sections on those posts exploded, with people asking the obvious question: if Meghan Markle is the source of his misery and the reason for this fight, why does she seem to be ignoring the battle entirely? It fueled a growing narrative that Prince Harry is fighting these wars to prove his worth to her, while she remains detached from the consequences. The juxtaposition of Prince Harry weeping in court about how destroyed they are, while Meghan Markle posted carefully curated content showcasing their beautiful life, created a disconnect the public couldn't ignore. It made Prince Harry look less like an equal partner and more like a soldier sent to the front lines while the general remained safely at headquarters. But the emotional confusion didn't stop with Meghan Markle. It took an even darker turn when the subject matter of the trial forced Prince Harry to resurrect his past relationships. Perhaps the most uncomfortable aspect of the proceedings was the re-emergence of Chelsea Davy. Because the timeline of the case is strictly limited to 2001 to 2013, the woman at the center of the privacy invasion claims isn't Meghan Markle, it's Chelsea Davy. She was the one chased relentlessly by photographers. She was the one whose voicemails were allegedly intercepted. And she was the one who ultimately walked away from Prince Harry because she couldn't cope with the royal circus. Chelsea Davy has long since moved on. She is married, has children, runs a successful business, and has maintained a dignified silence for more than a decade. Yet, in his pursuit of justice, Prince Harry admitted in court that he had called Chelsea Davy the night before his testimony, dragging her back into an emotional turmoil she had worked so hard to escape. He spoke about her with visible emotion and regret, revealing a heavy, lingering sadness about what might have been. He painted a picture of a relationship destroyed by the press, which may well be true, but by focusing so intensely on her, he inadvertently highlighted a stark contrast: the woman who wanted privacy and achieved it by leaving, versus the woman he is with now who actively seeks the spotlight. Many watching the trial found this deeply unfair to Chelsea Davy. She did not ask to become a character in Prince Harry's legal drama in 2026. She did not consent to having her name splashed across headlines once again. It seemed hypocritical for Prince Harry to speak passionately about the sanctity of privacy while disturbing the hard-earned peace of his former partner to strengthen his own case. It exposed a troubling lack of awareness, how his crusade for truth was creating collateral damage for the very people he claimed to care about. And speaking of hypocrisy, the defense team was about to deliver a blow that would turn Prince Harry's own words against him in the most damaging way possible. The most lethal weapon in the Daily Mail lawyer's arsenal wasn't a secret witness or a hidden document. It was Prince Harry's own book, Spare. Standing in the witness box, Prince Harry stated, with a straight face, "I have never believed that my life is open season to be commercialized by these people." He argued that his private life was sacred and that no one had the right to sell stories about him. The silence that followed that statement was deafening, Because the entire world knows that Prince Harry has made millions of dollars doing exactly that. The defense team didn't have to work hard to dismantle his argument. They simply pointed to the record. Prince Harry released a 400-page memoir detailing some of the most intimate moments of his life and the lives of his family members. He published private text messages between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton about bridesmaid dresses. He wrote about losing his virginity. He described private family arguments and sensitive medical details. He signed a massive deal with Netflix to produce a documentary that brought cameras inside his home. He sat down with Oprah Winfrey for a globally televised interview. In short, Prince Harry has commercialized virtually every aspect of his existence. So for him to stand in a court of law and claim that he opposes the commercialization of his private life didn't just look contradictory, it looked delusional. This wasn't a minor inconsistency. It was a total collapse of his moral argument. The public reaction was swift and brutal. You cannot sell your privacy to the highest bidder and then sue the press for writing about you. It reinforced the growing belief that Prince Harry doesn't actually want privacy, he wants control. He wants to be the only one allowed to monetize his life, while silencing anyone who tells a version of the story he doesn't approve of. But the problems went far beyond optics. They went to the heart of the evidence. In a court of law, feelings are irrelevant. Proof is everything. And this is where Prince Harry's case began to structurally crumble. Under cross-examination, it became painfully clear that he didn't possess the smoking gun many expected. When asked to prove that a specific article resulted from phone hacking, Prince Harry repeatedly relied on phrases like, "I believe," or "it seems suspicious." His argument rested on the assumption that if information was private, it must have been stolen. But belief is not evidence. The defense was prepared. The newspaper group's lawyers systematically dismantled his claims, article by article. In many cases, they demonstrated that the information hadn't been hacked at all. It had been leaked by people within Prince Harry's own circle, or released through official palace statements that he appeared to have forgotten. They produced emails and records suggesting that several stories originated from legitimate journalistic sources, or even from friends casually speaking to reporters. The implication was devastating. It suggested that the paranoid narrative Prince Harry has lived with for years, that he is constantly bugged, tracked, and targeted, may be exaggerated, or at the very least, not the source of every story written about him. This lack of concrete proof likely explains why rumors began swirling that Prince Harry's legal team was backing away. Lawyers have a duty to the court. They cannot knowingly present a case built on falsehoods or pure speculation. If Prince Harry is insisting on a narrative the evidence doesn't support, his lawyers are placed in an impossible position. Reports that key members of his legal team were considering resignation or retreating rapidly suggest they saw the writing on the wall. They recognized that Prince Harry's desire to fight was outpacing his actual ammunition. And if he loses, the cost will be far greater than wounded pride. Beyond the humiliation and emotional toll, there is a cold, hard number looming over this trial: $38 million. That is the estimated total of legal costs and potential damages if Prince Harry loses this case and the others he is currently fighting. This isn't just about paying his own lawyers, who charge eye-watering hourly rates. Under British law, the losing party often pays the winner's legal fees. Associated Newspapers has retained some of the most expensive defense lawyers money can buy. If Prince Harry loses, he won't just walk away defeated, he'll be financing the very people he despises. Financial experts and royal commentators have also pointed out that Prince Harry's liquidity remains a mystery. Yes, the book and Netflix deals were massive, but the lifestyle in Montecito is extraordinarily expensive. Security, travel, mortgage payments, and staff costs burn through cash at an alarming rate. With the Spotify deal collapsed and Netflix's future uncertain, amid reports of shows being canceled or underperforming, a $30 million-plus legal blow could be catastrophic. It could wipe out a significant portion of the so-called freedom fund that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle earned by leaving the royal family. This high-stakes gamble adds a powerful layer of desperation to Prince Harry's courtroom behavior. He doesn't just want this win, he needs it. He needs the vindication to prove that his crusade is justified. And he may also need the settlement money to keep the entire operation running. That pressure may explain why he appeared so emotional, so combative, and so visibly on edge. Prince Harry knows he has pushed all his chips into the middle of the table, and the hand he's holding, built on suspicion, emotion, and memory, may not be strong enough to beat the defense's royal flush of documentation. As the doors of the High Court closed, the image of Prince Harry that emerged was not that of a conquering hero, but of a man lost in a maze of his own making. He arrived in London seeking justice, only to find himself trapped in a web of contradictions. He demanded privacy while selling his secrets. He demanded accountability while refusing to answer the judge's questions. He cried over his wife's misery while she lived her best life across the ocean. This trial has exposed the fragile foundation of the Sussex brand. It has shown that you cannot rewrite history simply because you have a platform. In the brutal, fact-based arena of a courtroom, narratives don't matter, proof does. And as Prince Harry argues with judges and clashes with lawyers, the world is watching a prince who appears to be fighting a war that ended years ago, against enemies that may not even exist in the way he believes they do. The question now isn't just whether Prince Harry will win or lose this case. The real question is what will be left of his reputation when the dust finally settles. If the court rules against him, if the judge determines that his claims are baseless and his testimony unreliable, it could mark the final nail in the coffin of his credibility. He would no longer be seen as a victim of the press, but as a man who attempted to censor the truth and failed. And that is a verdict no amount of Netflix documentaries can overturn. So what do you think? Is Prince Harry brave for standing up to the system, or has he completely lost touch with reality? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on this collapsing house of cards, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. You won't want to miss what happens next. Bell.